Do you know how safe your personal data is? Today we'll delve into one of the most significant data breaches in history. In the digital world, personal information is a precious commodity. It's a goldmine for businesses, advertisers, and unfortunately, also for cybercriminals. Back in 2017, a monumental event occurred that shook the very foundations of data security, forever changing our perception of personal information's safety. Today, we're going to take you back to that year, to the shocking revelation of the Equifax data breach. Equifax, one of the three major credit reporting agencies, is a name that many of us are familiar with. It's a company that holds the financial futures of millions in its databases. A company that, in 2017, discovered a devastating truth. The personal information of 147 million consumers had been exposed. Social security numbers, addresses, credit card details, and more were laid bare for cyber thieves to plunder. The magnitude of this breach was staggering. To put it into perspective, 147 million people is more than the entire population of Russia. Imagine if every single person in that vast country had their personal information stolen. That's the scale we're talking about. But the troubling reality is that this breach wasn't just a one-off event. It was not a lightning strike out of the blue. It was a sequence of failures, a chain of events that led to one of the most significant data breaches in history. It was a wake-up call, a harsh reminder of the vulnerability of our personal information in the digital age. As we dive into the details of this incident, we'll uncover the series of missteps that led to this colossal breach. We'll understand the flaws in Equifax's security measures and how these flaws were exploited by cybercriminals. We'll explore the aftermath, the impact on consumers, and the lessons learned. This breach wasn't just an isolated event, but a sequence of failures that we'll uncover. The breach was first discovered on July 29, 2017, but what led to this discovery? It was a day like any other, July 29, 2017, when the unexpected happened. Equifax, one of the three major consumer credit reporting agencies in the United States, detected suspicious network traffic. This was not the usual humdrum of data exchange. It was a red flag, a signal that something was not right. Equifax's security team sprang into action, diving into the depths of their network activity. They found that an unauthorized party had accessed sensitive consumer data. The data affected encompassed a vast range of personal information, from social security numbers to credit card numbers and even driver's license numbers. This was not just a minor intrusion, it was a major breach, one of the largest impacting personal data. The discovery sent shockwaves through the company. The magnitude of the breach was staggering. It was clear that this was not an incident that could be swept under the rug. The company needed help, and they needed it fast. In response, Equifax hired a top-tier cybersecurity firm to dig deeper into the breach. This firm, armed with years of expertise and cutting-edge technology, was tasked to investigate the incident, identify the culprits, and most importantly, find out how this could have happened. The cybersecurity firm worked tirelessly, sifting through countless data logs and piecing together the digital puzzle. Their investigation revealed that the breach had begun much earlier, in mid-May, and had continued undetected for a staggering 2.5 months. The revelation was a wake-up call to every organization that handles sensitive consumer data. It underscored the importance of robust cybersecurity measures and the need for constant vigilance in an increasingly digital world. But the question remains, how did this happen in the first place? The root cause? A critical vulnerability left unpatched. In the intricate tapestry of digital infrastructure, the smallest thread left loose can unravel the whole. This was the case with Equifax, where a vulnerability in the Apache Struts web application software opened the floodgates to an information catastrophe. Apache Struts, for those unfamiliar, is a popular tool used to create web applications. It's a cornerstone in the digital architecture of many enterprises, including Equifax. Now, to understand the gravity of the situation, let's delve into the concept of vulnerabilities. In the realm of cybersecurity, a vulnerability is essentially a weakness. It's an Achilles heel in the system that hackers can exploit to gain unauthorized access. In the case of Equifax, the vulnerability lay in the Apache Struts software. This particular vulnerability was not a hidden secret. In fact, it was well known in the cybersecurity world, and a patch, a digital band-aid of sorts, was readily available. But for reasons that remain unclear, Equifax failed to apply this patch, leaving their system exposed for months on end. During this time, hackers didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it wide open. The unpatched vulnerability served as a VIP pass, granting them unrestricted access to the personal data of millions. Social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, it was all up for grabs. And the worst part, Equifax was none the wiser until it was too late. The story of the Equifax breach is a chilling reminder of the intricate dance between technology and security. It underscores the need for vigilance in an increasingly digital world, where even the smallest oversight can lead to monumental consequences. It's a tale of a fortress that fell not because of the strength of the invaders, but because of a single unguarded gate. A tale that highlights the critical importance of staying ahead of the curve, of patching up vulnerabilities promptly, and of never underestimating the potential for disaster when it comes to protecting sensitive data. This shows the importance of cybersecurity measures and regular system updates. The breach was massive, but the aftermath was catastrophic. In the wake of their monumental data breach, Equifax was left with the daunting task of damage control. The company's response to the breach was, to say the least, less than exemplary, and it didn't take long for the criticism to roll in. Equifax was under fire, not only for the breach itself, but also for its handling of the situation that followed. One of the primary measures Equifax took in response was to offer free credit monitoring to those affected. This was seen as a way to help consumers keep an eye on their credit reports for any suspicious activity. However, this offer was met with a mixed response. On one hand, it was viewed as a necessary step in helping the victims of the breach. On the other hand, it was seen by many as too little, too late. After all, the personal information of a staggering 147 million consumers had already been exposed. The criticism didn't stop there. Equifax was also accused of being too slow to react to the breach, and their communication with the public was deemed inadequate. In the days following the revelation, the company was accused of being vague and non-transparent about the specifics of the breach. Many were left in the dark, unsure of whether their information had been compromised or not. The company also faced legal repercussions. In the United States alone, Equifax was hit with over 200 class action lawsuits. The Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and all 50 state attorneys general launched investigations into the breach. The aftermath of the Equifax breach was indeed catastrophic. It was a stark reminder of the immense responsibility companies have in protecting consumer data. It shone a spotlight on the importance of data security and forced many to reassess their own practices. This breach was a wake-up call for many, highlighting the importance of data security. So, what can we learn from the Equifax data breach? The Equifax debacle underscores the critical importance of cybersecurity. In our progressively digitized world, safeguarding personal data isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When one of the largest credit bureaus in the world can fall prey to a devastating breach, it highlights the vulnerability of our digital defenses. It's a stark reminder that even the most formidable fortresses can crumble if the gatekeepers grow complacent. Regular system updates are not just routine maintenance, they're vital for defense. Equifax's failure to promptly patch a known vulnerability in their software allowed the intruders to slip through. This isn't about playing the blame game, but rather understanding that in the realm of cybersecurity, delays can spell disaster. Regular updates, patching vulnerabilities, and keeping abreast of the latest threats are the shields that protect our digital citadels. The consequences of negligence can be staggering. For Equifax, it meant the exposure of personal information of nearly 150 million consumers. For the consumers, it meant a violation of their privacy, potential identity theft, and countless hours spent mitigating the damage. For all of us, it's a wake-up call. But it's not all doom and gloom. We, as individuals, have a role to play too. We can protect our personal data by being vigilant about where and how we share it. We can use strong, unique passwords, enable two-factor authentication, and regularly monitor our accounts for suspicious activity. We can educate ourselves about phishing scams and be cautious about clicking on unfamiliar links. The Equifax breach reminds us that in the digital age, our personal information is both our asset and our liability. It's a powerful tool in our hands, but in the wrong hands, it can turn into a weapon. In a world where our personal information is increasingly digital, understanding and preventing data breaches is more important than ever. Because when it comes to cybersecurity, it's not just about protecting our data, it's about protecting ourselves. For more cyber stories like share and subscribe,